Bucs chances to repeat. Plus, LaDainian Tomlinson will break down the top running back prospects in this year's draft. But first, we start in Pittsburgh, where Big Ben's time is not yet up, with Steelers owner Art Rooney releasing this statement that read in part, "Ben assured me that he is committed to coming back to help us win. And I told Ben that we would like to have him back to help us win a championship. We both understand that the next step is to work out Ben's contract situation." Juju Smith-Schuster, who has a contract situation of his own coming up, was asked about Big Ben's return and his future with the team earlier today.
I think, I still he has in the tank. One thing about Big Ben is that, I had that chemistry with him. So for them to even let him go or to even think about it, it wouldn't be the best, because, I would love to play with Ben. I always tell Ben, give me 4 more years, but obviously he's a lot older, so we'll see how that goes.
So you still want to ball with Big Ben?
Always.
And you think he could still make it to a Super Bowl next year if you brought him back?
Yes, sir.
So you're from LA. Can you see yourself in a Rams or a Chargers jersey?
My family, to be home close family would be cool, but at the end of the day, I want to have my legacy in Pittsburgh and retire there.
Really?
I don't want to leave. Yeah.
You started there. You want to finish there?
Oh, yes, sir.
But you could see yourself in a Chargers jersey, maybe Rams?
Nah, not ideal. Not right now. Until I actually get let go. Other than that, I'm Pittsburgh for life.
Looked like Juju was hanging out in Rodeo Drive, a man as stylish, our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Ian, we heard Art Rooney say the next step is addressing Big Ben's contract situation. We know he has a big cap number. Where do we go from here?
Well, first of all, the most important things have already happened. Ben Roethlisberger has said he wants to be back. Mike Tomlin, the Steelers head coach, has told Roethlisberger he wants him back. And now, as the statement by Art Rooney confirmed, Rooney wants Roethlisberger back as well. That is the big thing. That solidifies that he's going to be back. There is the matter of his contract situation, figuring out his $40+ million cap hit. As a source told me late yesterday, that's really the easy part. So the salary is about $19 million. The cap hit is about $40 million. Expect the Steelers, who almost never do voidable years at the end of their contract, expect him to give him a big signing bonus, extend him for maybe 3 or so years, spread out the cap hit over several years, and lower it significantly for the 2021 season and give him a little room.
Ian, Juju Smith-Schuster will also be a free agent. You heard him ask if he'd like to come home and play for the Rams and Chargers. He said he wants to build a legacy in Pittsburgh. So what's the latest with him?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a different situation for Juju Smith-Schuster. First of all, look at all of the standout receivers coming up in free agency. So many of those guys are not going to be available, from Kenny Galladay to Chris Godwin. A lot of those guys are going to be franchise tagged, which means Juju is potentially one of the top receivers available in free agency, with the Steelers not able to use the franchise tag because of cap space. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to be back in Pittsburgh, but look at their cap situation as of right now. Still plenty over the cap. He's going to command a big salary. They could do it, but they would have a lot of work to get done to fit a potential free agent contract for Juju Smith-Schuster under the cap for 2021.
So a lot of questions remain for the Steelers, starting to get some of those answers. So as we look at Big Ben Roethlisberger over the first 11 games, of course, undefeated. His completion percentage and pass yards per game, not dramatically different. What was different was obviously the win-loss record and the interceptions. He had more interceptions in those last 5 games than he did the first 11 games. So as we bring in now our Hall of Famer, LaDainian Tomlinson and Willie McGinnis, we start with you, LT. How can the Steelers get back and make another Super Bowl run with Big Ben leading the way?
Well, anything is possible, guys. I don't think it's likely that it happens. And the reason why is Big Ben can't sustain that high level of play. I just don't think for an entire season we're going to see the Big Ben that we saw the first, 10 games of the season last year. It's time to start to rebuild this team. I think the organization needs to invest in that defense. They need to bring back Bud Dupree, really make sure that they have a solid foundation on that side of the ball. And then they need to upgrade at the running back position. What really needs to happen with this team, Willie, is Big Ben needs to revert back to his younger days as a quarterback when he managed the football game. Because throwing it around the park is just not going to work anymore. Big Ben had over 600 pass attempts this year. That's not going to get it done anymore.
Yeah, and I agree, LT. I think when you talk about just putting a quarterback in place, you're ready to win the Super Bowl now, and that's not the case. But you do have stability at the quarterback position, somebody who's won a couple Super Bowls, and you know what he could do at that position. The question for me is the other moving parts on the football team. We just talked about Juju. We don't know if he's going to be back. He's going to demand #1 money. They don't have it in the budget right now unless he takes a hometown deal. The left tackle is not there. Your center has retired. The running game, Connor is a free agent. So you got a lot of pieces. Bud Dupree, Hilton on the other side of the ball. You got a lot of pieces that you need to fill in. I don't think that they're a Super Bowl team right now. I don't even think right now they're the best team in the division. So there's a lot of work to do, but getting Ben to agree to a restructure and getting him back is a big piece of the puzzle. And I think now you have to work and try to figure out all those other pieces for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
LT, to your point about building back that running game, as our Didi Kinkobwala tweeted earlier today, when the Steelers rush for 100 yards in Ben's career, they've won almost 85% of his games. When they don't, he's under 500. And since 2018, that number is even more dramatic. He is undefeated when they rush for more than 100 yards. He's 9-11 when they don't. So that's pretty dramatic fall there. Meanwhile, across the country, another quarterback whose immediate future now seems a lot more certain in his return to the team. Jimmy Garoppolo getting a vote of confidence from 49ers general manager John Lynch in about the strongest language we've seen yet.
If he's injury-free, is there any doubt in your mind that Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback when you line up in September?
No, not at all. I mean, I really believe that when he's healthy, he's played at a high level. So we got to do that, but we probably got to add someone, you know, so that, you know, we probably need to improve ourselves so that if he's not there, we're all right. We can win games.
So you heard him reiterate that Jimmy Garoppolo, they expect to be their starting quarterback in 2021. But, Willie, he has missed 23 of 48 games. So if he's healthy, is he still the quarterback to take them back to the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know yet, because we watched this year without Jimmy Garoppolo, and even when he played, when he came back, this wasn't a Super Bowl caliber team. Did they play great? Yes. Are they physical? Do they do all the different things to win football games and compete within the division? Yes, they do. But that's a big if, the injury factor. And you heard him say it. You got to be on the field. You got to be able to excel in Kyle Shanahan's system, because we have yet to see Jimmy G like really be productive in the light that we know he could be in Kyle Shanahan. We just seen a small snippet of this offense and what it can do, and it's mostly powered by the running game, not by the arm of Jimmy G. So he has to stay healthy. He has to continue to pick up the system and be able to open up that offense so they're well balanced and they can do more than just power run the football and throw the ball here and there when they need to.
Yeah, Willie, I agree with you. And there was times last year that you would see Kyle Shanahan physically frustrated with the way the offense was running with Jimmy Garoppolo. And so you know that he wasn't happy. And I think, you know, I really think John Lynch is saying that is because maybe he's picked up the phone and talked to the Texans to try to get Deshaun Watson, and they're not budging. You know, because you're ready to win right now. Jimmy G got them to the Super Bowl, yes, but if you had Deshaun Watson, you would win the Super Bowl. This team is ready to win. The entire offense will be open up if they had Deshaun Watson. And I agree with you, Willie. I just think the offense has been stagnant, and we haven't seen the best of Jimmy G, and maybe it's because he's missed more games than he's won.
Willie, true or false? Jimmy Garoppolo plays a full season next year.
I want to say true, man. I like Jimmy. I know he's worked hard. I know he wants to be that quarterback that everybody thinks he can be in San Francisco, especially with the contract that he received there coming in there. And I know Kyle Shanahan is one of the great play callers and offensive coordinators and guys that can get him to where he needs to be. So if we see him healthy, then we could see the Jimmy G that everybody would think he could be. If not, what we're seeing is what we're going to continue to see, and that's not good for the San Francisco 49ers.
Another thing Lynch said, especially with C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins as free agents, that they're going to look long and hard at Jimmy G's backup. So if he does get hurt again, their production doesn't fall off a cliff.
Yep.
Still to come on NFL Total Access.
They they need some help. We don't even keep score. We just run up and leave.
We got to keep going. Hello? You on the way? All right, thank you.
And that man right there, folks, is Super Bowl champion linebacker Devin White with the Tampa Bay Bucs. Devin, how does that Super Bowl champion ring sound now added to your name?
I mean, it's my first championship since Little League. So, I mean, it sounds great, man. It's something I've been chasing for a long time. You know, I always told my teammates, you know, I wasn't always about individual war. You know, when you're winning as a collective unit, it all comes with it. My whole thing is to be a champion. And that's something I haven't been since I was like in Little League, like 10 years old. So, man, it just feels great. And it's something I want to do again.
Well, welcome to the club, champ, and you worked hard for it. So listen, when we were doing our shows out there in Tampa, we were on the water at Yacht Village, and I nicknamed you the Great White because I said the waters ain't safe as long as you playing in the game. Is that can we stick with that nickname and keep calling you the Great White because you are an animal out there on the football field?
Yeah, I think that's something that's very catchy. You know, it fit me, especially with being in the water. You know, I always, you know, kind of rep like shark life because I always tell my teammates when you smell blood, you got to keep attacking and things like that. So I think it all resonates just well.
Before we get to the Super Bowl, you were a little pissed off because you didn't make the Pro Bowl. And Tom Brady, one of the guys who came in and affected the locker room, came over to you and said, hey, Devin, there's a bigger bowl that we're chasing. What did he do not only for you, but for the team and the organization?
Yeah, I mean, I was having such a, I felt like I was having such a great year, man. Like having 9 sacks and playing at a high level like that, I never, you know, I always imagined myself doing it because I've been a great blitzer for a long time. Right. But I mean, I was trying to hit double digit. I was like, man, I know I got to get recognized. I know Levante got to get recognized. And we didn't get, you know, we didn't get the recognition that we thought we should have got, even though that wasn't our goal. I was like, man, it would be nice to have on my resume. And he was just talking to me. He was like, man, that's the least of our worries, man. We chasing something bigger. He was like, it's a bigger bowl that we want. And when he said that, man, I was telling my teammates, I was like, man, Tom Brady don't care about nothing but winning, like winning the whole thing. Like, and that kind of resonated. It was like, man, we need to all make sure we're on the same page with him, and we got to take advantage of being able to play with a quarterback of his caliber, in my opinion, the best ever to lace him up.
I agree, man. And you end up finishing with 178 tackles. You led the league, and you did have 9 sacks. So in my opinion, you was a Pro Bowler and a first-team All-Pro, even though you made the second team. Now, going into the Super Bowl, everybody was talking about Pat Mahomes. They was talking about Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I was on a defense like that where we had to face against a high-powered offense. Nobody gave you guys a shot to win that game. Did that kind of get you guys upset and put the big chip on your shoulder?
Nah, I'm going to say the craziest thing is, so it's basically like we had a bye week. And when we came, like we worked throughout the bye week, but, you know, we was kind of handling our bodies well. But when we seen Ty Bowles' game plan, everybody was like, this the best one all year. Like, this the best game plan, no matter the team, this the best game plan he done put together all year. So everybody was really confident. Like, our confidence level was at an all-time high. And the way the coaches around the building was talking as well as us, it was like, hey, we better beat these guys by 20. Like, it ain't no way in the world, you know, we should, like, beat them bad. So we was all just, we started believing more and more.
Now, the confetti's coming down. You guys won the Super Bowl. It's all said and done. You guys are doing a parade by boat. Now tell me this. I've never seen a quarterback throw a Lombardi trophy from one boat to the next boat. Talk about things that don't normally happen during the Super Bowl. What was y'all saying when y'all saw Tom toss the trophy across?
So, look, I was on another boat, so I seen it on Twitter, me and Levante and Leonard Fournette, but, man, I was like, no, I don't care. Look, that's Tom Brady. He can do whatever he want. Like, he got so many of them, like, it don't even matter. I was more so happy just to see how much he was enjoying it because, like, he put in a lot of work.
Right.
And, like, right before getting close to the Super Bowl, I heard that, like, Tom Brady family had to leave so he can really, like, you know, tone in and hone down on getting ready for the Super Bowl. And I was like, man, he that dedicated. Like, he that dedicated. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, he deserved this moment more than anybody, man, because he put himself through a lot. And, you know, I know he's really tough on himself. So he was just letting all his emotions out and having fun.
Trust me, you don't know the half, man. This man is crazy when it comes to preparing and shutting down and doing all that. You were able to live a lifelong dream. You took a victory lap. And please tell me your horse's name, and we were able to see the footage of you taking a victory lap with your horse. Man, that was special. That had to be special to you.
Yeah. Her name, Dream. I bought that horse out of Houston, man, from a guy named QT, Brandon QT, man. I really appreciate him because that was my favorite horse this offseason. Like, I took that horse everywhere, man, because she really good at what she do. Now she's bred to one of my stallions, so now she getting ready to foal next month. So I was like, man, I don't care. Like, this the only horse I got down here with me, so if we win, I got to make this ride. And I had to be riding Dream, but, man, that was another great moment for me, man. That was probably better than the boat ride for me, having a trophy in my hand and riding my horse on that field, man, where we won the Super Bowl at. Like, so that was a big factor for me, man. I'm really thankful to everybody, Brian Ford, the Glazer family, everybody for allowing that to happen for me.
All right, Devin, you're a great player, man. I love watching you play. Congratulations, champ. We can start adding that to your name now. And come back and hang out with us, man. I love your energy. Keep doing what you're doing, all right, brother?
Yes, sir. Anytime. Y'all have a good live day.
Jones dumps it down. Catch made by Najee Harris. It makes a cut, breaks a tackle, and barrels into Ohio State territory. And running behind a linebacker, Najee Harris barrels in, rushing touchdown. Hurdling is Harris, and now running down the sideline, deep in Irish territory. Bubble screen, big shot delivered. Harris just absorbed that blow, lobs it to Harris, gets around Borland, and leaps to the end zone. A hat trick for Najee Harris.
Najee Harris highlighting Bucky Brooks's top 5 running back prospects for this year's draft. Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Trey Sermon rounding out the top 5 as we bring back our Hall of Fame running back, LaDainian Tomlinson. What stands out to me, LT, is 4 of 5 players on that list are seniors. We just don't see that too much in the last decade or so. But LT, I want you to tell us about each of some of these top prospects and who their NFL comp is for you. We'll start with Najee Harris here.
Yeah, Omar. So Najee Harris, the one thing that I love about Najee, first it starts with his vision. He has great vision. He also has great patience when he gets the ball. He's not in a hurry. You see the patience as he searches for the hole, and then has just, he has good speed. He doesn't have great speed for a big man. He has good speed, good feet, finishes the run really well. And the most underrated part of his game is catching the ball out the backfield. This big man, he can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run routes. So he's more versatile than people give him credit for. And the guy I would compare him to is Le'Veon Bell. And the reason why I like the size comparison when you think about these guys first. Le'Veon is about 6'1", 225. Najee is only 6'2". He's about 225. But look at these guys in the way that their patience stands out, searching for a hole. Not very quick to the hole, but once they get through the hole, they can make you miss. They finish runs, and then both of them are very athletic. Le'Veon has been known for jumping over people, too. Let me just get that straight.
Yeah, love that patient running style. Harris, of course, played behind Damian Harris as well as Josh Jacobs. Those two have had big success in the NFL. How about next up, Travis Etienne out of Clemson?
Yeah, so the thing I think about with Travis Etienne is speed and acceleration. He's not a big guy, but once this guy hits it, he has speed to burn. He's more of a guy that you would put with another bigger back, but once he gets in the open field, look out. He's very dangerous. And he's actually improved in catching the ball out the backfield. That was a part of his game that he struggled with a little bit early on in his career. So the guy that I would compare him to, Raheem Mostert. And when you think about it, they're about the same size, about 5'10", 200 pounds, 205 pounds. But Raheem Mostert, when you think about this guy, speed, acceleration. Once he get into the open field, forget about it. He's gone. And I think the same thing about this young man, Travis Etienne.
Raheem Mostert going wild in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago. At North Carolina, they had a pair of backs. Michael Carter showed out well at the Senior Bowl a couple weeks ago. But let's get to the underclassmen on this list. Javonte Williams, what do you think about him?
Omar, Javonte Williams could possibly be the best back in this draft. I feel that strongly about this young man. He can do it all. I mean, he can run it between the tackles. He can run it outside. He's a tough tackle. He bounces off of people. He can catch the ball out the backfield. The person that I would compare him to, Alvin Kamara. And if people remember, Alvin Kamara went in the 3rd round. You know, he was a guy that a lot of people wasn't sure about as a top back, but look what he's doing now with the New Orleans Saints. This guy reminds me of him because every time you get a clean tackle on him, you miss him. And then when you do try to tackle him, you don't get him down with the first hit. He bounces off of tackles. He can catch the ball in the open field and make something happen. The dexterity is one thing that stands out for me with Javonte Williams. Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara, Le'Veon Bell, Raheem Mostert. High praise from our Hall of Famer, LaDainian Tomlinson. Thank you very much. It is draft season here at NFL Network. Without the combine this year, added emphasis. Bad move for the Jets to go quarterback here.
I think it's a bad move. And we haven't seen enough from Sam Darnold. I mean, he's going on his 3rd coaching staff. I mean, how do you have a chance to evaluate a quarterback when he's been coach after coach? You know, you get a coach, you fire him, and you just haven't had an opportunity to see what he really can do. Not to mention, there's not a lot of talent around him. Now, people may say, oh, the injury may be a problem. Well, Zach Wilson has had injuries, so you're in the same boat if you draft Zach Wilson.
And I agree, LT. There's no consistency with the coaching staff. Hopefully there is now, and not a lot around him. His supporting cast hasn't been strong. So Robert Saleh is going to take over this team. What do you have to bring with you? You got to be a strong foundational defense, You got to have a run game, and you got to put pieces around your quarterback. And by the way, the offensive line broke down as well. So when you have a young quarterback trying to learn a new system, and he's trying to do a lot within himself, it presents a lot of problems, the injuries, and all the other things we've seen with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Willie, back to you. Falcons picking in the top 5 for the first time since they picked Matt Ryan, who is still on the roster. DJ has them picking Justin Fields. Is that a good move or a bad move?
I think it's a great move. I mean, you look at Matt Ryan, and he's in his 14th season, and he can teach Justin Fields. He can keep Matt Ryan around for a couple of more years. Now, what's smart about this situation is you got Ridley and you got Hurst at the tight end position, at the receiver position. Julio Jones is somebody who hasn't been consistent, hasn't been on the field. He will have a lot of capital. There will be a lot of teams in need of a receiver of his caliber. You could trade him away or move him and get more receivers and more pieces to help, and at the same time be grooming your young quarterback for the future.
Oh, Willie, you said it all, man. That's an excellent idea. You know, we know that a guy like Justin Fields is going to need a little time to develop. You can keep Matt Ryan there. And Justin Fields is a hometown kid, so he's going to sell tickets because people want to see this young man. They have followed him since high school. I just think it's a smart move. You got a new coach, so it's time to start the rebuild.
Okay, so you guys are on the same page so far.
We're on the same page.
The Eagles haven't been on the same page the last couple of years. Carson Wentz is out, Doug Peterson is out, and DJ has the Eagles passing on a quarterback and selecting tight end Kyle Pitts. LT, we'll go back to you. Is that a good move or a bad move?
Yeah, I think it's a good move. You know, I know all these organizations are up in arms over these quarterbacks that are coming out this year, but you just drafted Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round, and he has unseated the starter in Carson Wentz. You traded him away. And so let's wait and see what Jalen Hurts can do on this football team. Surround him with some pieces. Get another wide receiver. Build that offensive line a little bit. I think there's potential there with Jalen Hurts.
And I agree. I think it's a good move, and that's why DJ gets paid the big bucks, because he can make these assessments and understand. Jalen Hurts, he just got there. The man is poised. He can throw it. He can run it. He's smart, high-character guy. You know what you got in him. That staff knows what they have. Now, you do need receivers. You heard LT say it. Alshon Jeffrey hasn't played a full season. You moved on from Deshaun Jackson. You got Rager. So you've got some pieces you need to add. This guy is the best guy for the job and for the city. Remember, he's playing in Philly.
So for the number 8 pick, the Panthers are going to go with Trey Lance, according to Daniel Jeremiah. Is that a good move or bad move, Willie?
Well, I think it's a good move. Well, excuse me. I think it's a bad move because we've heard all the talk in the offseason, okay, about what the Panthers may do. They've been non-committal to Teddy Bridgewater, right? That means they're trying to make a player put their hand in the sweepstakes for Deshaun Watson. So if you can make that power move and get Deshaun Watson and bring him over, now you can use that pick to put more weapons on the offensive side of the ball or on the defensive side of the ball. So that gives you more latitude to move across the roster versus one position.
Yeah, I think this is a good move drafting a quarterback. We know that Teddy Bridgewater was pretty much a bridge gap quarterback for someone else. Now, Matt Rule's offense, it was restricted a little bit. I got to say that with Teddy Bridgewater. And I just think if they can get a quarterback, obviously Deshaun Watson would be incredible there. There's no question about it. But even if you decided to go with a young guy, I think it'll be fine because all these young guys can really throw the football, and they can throw from different angles. They're at
podcast. Joe Burrow rolling right, quick throw, touchdown!
Yeah! Jackson will keep it on the read option, big hole up the middle. Touchdown Ravens! Lamar Jackson throws right, end zone, touchdown!
4 touchdown passes on the day, and we're not even at halftime.
You can't coach this. This is Ben doing what Ben does when the pocket starts collapsing. A laser into traffic. That was a small window. What a throw by Ben.
Fires in the end zone. He's got a touchdown.
He runs a back draw. Touchdown.
Beauty.
Sweeps around the left side. He fooled everybody on that play. Throws. End zone. Touchdown. Wide open in the end zone.
We asked Willie and LT to rank their AFC North quarterback rankings, and they came up with an identical list. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Ben Roethlisberger, and Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Fellas, Big Ben led the division in touchdowns, in yards, and wins last season.
He did.
Willie, how do you justify putting him at number 3?
Well, we're talking about now, right? And I'm not taking anything away from Ben. 18 years in, we just saw a quarterback at 43 who is special win a Super Bowl, as the Super Bowl MVP. But I know Lamar Jackson is special, and I put Baker in front of Ben because of what we've seen, the progression of Baker in the last couple of years. 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. That's the best year he's had since he's been in the league, and I see him getting better, and I see Ben fighting Father Time, and the skills just diminishing a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? And we have seen in spurts Big Ben play well. He started out hot, but he didn't finish so well. As Willie just alluded to, he looked old and beat up toward the end of the season. And I'm just not sure that improves. With Baker improved the entire season. He really had a grasp on Stefanski's offense, and he made timely throws when he needed to. Lamar Jackson won his first playoff game. He played his best football down the stretch of last season. And then Joe Burrow, on a small sample, really showed a lot in his first year with no training camp, no offseason, 65% completion percentage. That's impressive.
For what it's worth, fellas, Ben Roethlisberger has many Super Bowl wins.
I know.
As the rest of the division has playoff wins. So Big Ben, revenge season coming in 2021.
Yes,
thank you very much. Well, earlier this month, as part of the NFL's Black History Month celebration, the NFL's Black Engagement Network, a resource group that serves as an advocate for black employees, hosted a panel discussion with 3 stars from the Amazon Studios' critically acclaimed film, One Night in Miami, moderated by our very own Steve White. Over the course of the discussion, the stars shared their thoughts on race, celebrity, and what it was like portraying American icons. Here's a clip where Leslie Odom Jr. reflects on what he hopes is a lasting message from One Night in Miami, available now on Amazon Prime Video.
What is the biggest takeaway that you have about this?
That the world is ready, finally, for some more truth, for some, that it is our responsibility to show up in spaces, and not just the performing arts space, but in the NFL, in the boardroom, in the locker room. We have to show up and tell more truth about who we are, because a way has been made for us to do that. And so, yeah, the doors.
Mike Giardi with more on that.
Based on how the final 6 starts of his rookie season ended, there's some concern about Tua Tagovailoa and how he progressed during his rookie season. But the Miami Dolphins say, not so fast. Obviously, a difficult transition for Tua coming from Alabama to Miami without any offseason, coming off the major hip surgery, and really not getting into the swing of things as fast as he normally would. By the way, he is doing that right now. Workouts, a full go, no problem at all. The Dolphins feel like, look, we invested a lot in this guy, and we believe that he's our quarterback of the future. Of course, if Deshaun Watson pops free, like with basically 25, 26 other teams in the National Football League, then maybe that's something they have to reconsider. But for now, the message from Miami is we back Tua. We're going to do everything we can to make that offense work for him, which means getting some more vertical threats. And, you know, a running game might work as well, but making Tua more comfortable as he makes the leap from year 1 to year 2.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. So Chris Greer and Brian Flores saying that Tua is their guy.
Right.
LT, we'll start with you. Are you convinced that Tua Tagovailoa is the Dolphins' quarterback of the future?
Well, I believe so, but, you know, at the same time, we haven't seen enough. It's been a small sample size. But I'll tell you this, he hasn't done anything to make me feel like he's not the franchise guy. He's not the guy of the future. I think people need to just calm down and give him time to develop. The couple of things we've seen from Tua, he's very accurate, and he processes information really quickly out there and gets the ball out of his hands. And just remember, this is a guy coming off a hip injury, so give him time to get healthy and develop.
I get confused. Who are the evaluators and who are the people that's watching this kid? He came in week 8, so he only had 9 starts as the quarterback. He didn't get any reps prior to that, so you expect to start slow with anybody coming into a system. And yes, the injury played a factor in, but when you saw him come in as a starter, you saw the offense open up. A lot of people want instant success. He was the 5th pick of the draft. He's won national championships, one of the most talented quarterbacks of his class. Give him a chance. Let this kid develop. Let him get a full season and let him get healthy and be 100% before we start trying to draft another quarterback.
And the Dolphins have all those draft picks coming up, including number 3 and number 18 in the first round this upcoming draft, so a lot of capital to build around Tua. The NFL is hosting the 5th annual Women's Careers in Football Forum as part of its ongoing commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The forum connects women with leaders in professional football to help network and build relationships in the areas of coaching, scouting, and football operations. Here's Callie Brownson and Jennifer King on their experience.
I actually have it behind me on my desk. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it was given to me by Charlie Casserly, and he taught me back when he was my professor, what can I do today to help us win? So asking yourself that every morning, how can I go above and beyond, maybe even take on a new task, maybe improve something that we've been doing for a while that could use improvement, constantly evaluating and auditing the system to find out how can I help us get better every day.
Don't give up on it. If it's something that you really want to do, you know, if you fall or things don't go your way, make sure you fall forward and always look to get better and improve and be ready for the next opportunity, which is something that Coach always shared with me was be ready. And I feel like I did that. And every opportunity that I received, I was prepared for because I stayed ready. And that's something that I would like to share with you guys. And hopefully, you know, you can have those dreams and make people laugh.
And staying on that theme, January 20th, 2021, a significant day in American history as Kamala Harris was sworn into office, becoming the first female vice president. Titan star Kevin Byard shares with us how this moment is an inspirational one for his young daughter and all women of color across the nation.
Hi, I'm Kevin Byard, safety for the Tennessee Titans, and this is today's Black History Month moment. Kamala Harris was a senator for the state of California. She's the first Black female vice president of the United States. She's somebody that inspires me, inspires my entire family, somebody that I respect and look up to, honestly. I have a daughter of my own. Just to be able to see her become vice president is going to be very impactful for her. I even remember when Barack Obama was first elected president, sitting in the room with my mom and she was crying. I'm like, wow, she's getting emotional over the fact we have a Black president. It made me feel better about myself and feel better about where this country is going. Honestly, I think women are the most important people in our society right now. I would love to see women continue to take positions of power because I think at the end of the day, if we want to change the world, I think females are going to be the ones going to do it. She's already a legend just based off of what she's been able to accomplish already. Just that impact and that snap.
Running out of the locker room. Oh, they pay me the big bucks. Touchdown, Tampa Bay! That's an MVP play right there.
The top 10 games of the year continues all this week on NFL Network.
Coach Terry here with NFL Play 60 on Go Doodle to help your kid get physically active for at least 60 minutes a day. That's why we got loads of activities to get them moving at home or in school. So check out GoDoodle.com/NFL Play 60 and get moving.
Kyler Murray getting ready for his third year in the Cardinals system with head coach Cliff Kingsbury and owner Michael Bidwell telling an Arizona radio station that he's looking for Kyler to make the jump in his development to the next level, kind of like the way we saw Josh Allen make the jump in his third year, taking the Bills to the AFC Championship game. So, LT, we'll start with you. Who do you want to see make that jump next season?
First off, is Mr. Bidwell watching the games? I mean, I just don't see how he says Kyler Murray